In my lifetime, I've moved probably around 14 times and I am 23, so that's quite often. And in the past 4 years, I've moved about 5 times and I'm about to move again, and spoiler alert, I don't want to. The sunset is beautiful right now. I'm actually going to take a picture really quick before I carry on because damn, it is gorgeous. And I've learnt a lot from being here, and it's also helped me know what I want in a place, because I've lived pretty much here, there and everywhere now in lots of different accommodations, lots of different houses, flats, very different from each other, and of course I'll never know what is exactly right for me, but I am closer to finding that, and I think that's really cool, because one day I will find the place that I settle down in, and that will be great. And I wouldn't have got there if I hadn't lived in shitty places that I don't enjoy. And I'm not saying where I live right now is shit, but it's definitely not suited for me or my partner. And we're both very excited to live back in a city that is familiar and home. And I visited it not that long ago to view houses, and I immediately, as soon as I saw the sea and I sort of smelt the salty air, I started crying because I knew that I was in the right place. As fucking cringy as that sounds, I knew that I had to come back, and I was sad that I'd left, but I'm still really proud of the fact that I did. And I don't know, I'm just closer to knowing what I want in life, and I think that's really cool. That is pretty much it. I'm gonna go buy some Lucozade because it's a bank holiday, why not? My name is Em, and at least 2,000 people know that I don't like change. And my life is changing again. Not in ways that I expected either, in very unexpected ways. I made a video about a year ago about my fear of change and how my upcoming move to Leeds was really daunting and scary, and although I was really excited about it, it was making me physically ill. About 11 months ago, I moved to Leeds from Brighton after studying in Brighton and graduating there. I was so excited for this move. I'd never lived up north, and I wanted to know what it was like to live somewhere that's completely different from where you grew up and where you studied. I'd also never lived in a big city before, and I wanted to experience it at least once to see if it's right for me. I learned pretty quickly that living in Leeds is probably not for me, especially as someone who can't drive, isn't the biggest fan of crowds or busyness or loudness, and loves to be in nature. I started to miss the south quite quickly and the Brighton charm. I feel like you don't realise what you have until you don't have it, and that is very true for Brighton, because I was itching to get out of there and try living somewhere new. But not long after moving, I was missing the coast that I didn't really visit very often, if I'm being honest. And I missed the parks, and to be honest, I missed the warm weather. I think we moved at a bad time because it's just not been good weather until now. It's the heat wave now, but it was bad weather pretty much the entire tenancy here in Leeds. And I don't know, it's never quiet here. We live pretty central in Leeds. It's never quiet, and there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you're used to, then I'm sure it's not that jarring. But the one thing I was struggling with, and I think I made a video about this, but I still struggle with, is finding any sort of peace in the city. It is never quiet anywhere around where we are. You have to get a train to go anywhere that's peaceful, because even the canal and the river, they're really loud. They're right by a train line, they're right by motorways, and it's hard to get any peace here. So me and my partner decided we wanted to move back because we'd lived there 3 and 4 years respectively, and we missed the peace. Despite being a city, Brighton is quite peaceful if you're in the right places, and it's just beautiful. And there's just a certain sort of vibe to Brighton that you can't really match anywhere else. I also have always felt very welcome in Brighton as someone who is queer, and I never felt judged, or I never felt different from anyone there. We both missed it a lot. We both missed cycling along the seafront and cycling along Woodingdean Pass and just exploring the South Downs and stuff like that. That's more my partner than me, but we missed it. A year ago, I was itching to get myself out of Brighton and live up north and just try something new. And now more than ever, I want to be in the south. I miss my family, I miss my friends, and I just miss being by the coast, even though I never really appreciated it when I lived there. It's all these things that you think you've appreciated enough, but when you're nowhere near them, you realize very quickly you didn't make the most of them. And it's not physically possible to make the most of something to an adequate degree. You will always feel like you've not dedicated enough time to something. We both missed living somewhere that you don't have to have a car to live and where the public transport is decent. Living in Leeds has taught us that there are certain things that we prioritize more than we thought when moving here, and that's sort of why we wanted to move back to Brighton. So we decided we were gonna find a flat to rent in Brighton and move there sort of near the end of our tenancy here in Leeds. We found somewhere and we were about to sign for it, and as you can probably tell by how I'm talking, things did not work out how we wanted them to. We're about to sign for this place and my partner got made redundant, and suddenly we weren't moving to Brighton anymore. We were moving to the northeast to live with his mum until he finds a new job. And it's not that bad. Of all the things that could happen, this isn't that bad. I know that. We are both very fortunate that we have somewhere we can fall back on and still be together and live together, you know? Save up a bit of money, and then once he's found a new job, we move to wherever that is. And as someone who, as previously mentioned, does not like change, when the change changes, that fucks with my head even more than I thought it would. I was not well when I found this out, and to be honest, I'm still not very well, just because, sorry, I need to itch my nose. I know that you can find happiness anywhere, but I was dead set on spending the summer getting a very shit tan on the Brighton coast. I was so excited to be back in nature and back just where I feel like I belong. And now we're both faced with the fact that we can't afford to do that anymore, and everything's a bit uncertain, so we're gonna live somewhere that's a bit out of the way and not our first choice of place to live, if I'm being completely honest. So this news was not good for my brain. There are so many things that I'm sad to be leaving, and to be honest, I'm even more sad to be leaving now that we're not moving to the most desirable place, let's put it that way, or like where we plan to. I don't even know, man. I'm struggling to yap now. There are so many reasons why I'm very grateful that I moved here, and I think my life has been made better because of living in Leeds. I am so grateful for the friends we've made here. I've never met such a fun group of people that I resonate with so well. I'm so grateful for Harvey for bringing us all together, and we've done some really fun things together. I've made some incredible memories here, and I've taken a lot of videos of my time here as well because I wanted to remember it as well as I could. I'm honestly gonna miss this place. I'm gonna miss the Park Square pigeons a lot. They are probably the chillest sort of selection of pigeons I've ever met, but they are so lovely. I love getting to feed them every now and again. They're just so like chill about it as well. I do recommend feeding pigeons to everyone, by the way. This is something I think everyone should go through, unless you have an extreme phobia of birds or something, in which case I don't want to be responsible for any panic attacks. But pigeons are so lovely, and I've felt a real connection to them for a long time, especially in Brighton, but I've loved the ones in Leeds as well, and the ones I see regularly that I recognise, like the ones that sit outside my local Tesco that I feed my Greggs sausage roll to, you know, just the usual customers. You sort of get to know them a bit. It's great. I have friends. As previously mentioned, I have friends, I promise. I just also enjoy the pigeons. I don't know. I've been on some really nice hikes, especially in Ilkley. Ilkley is a gorgeous place. I recommend everyone going there. So many like things that are fairly mundane as well. I'm gonna miss my little walk to Sainsbury's or Tesco. I'm gonna miss living right by a train station. That's really helpful. And I am gonna miss the canal, even though it stresses me out, to be honest. It's always busy, especially at peak time. There are some lovely small businesses businesses in the Corn Exchange that I have bought a couple things from that I'm going to treasure, quite frankly. And honestly, my favourite shop in all of Leeds, Colours May Vary, I believe it's called, is such a lovely bookshop. I've bought a couple books from there. It's great for artists as well. There's a lot of art themed or like niche books that I fucking love. I got a book that is Japanese food labels, which sounds boring, but the graphic design of them is honestly incredible, and it's such a lovely book to flick through. I love stuff like that. I'm trying to remind myself that even though this move isn't particularly familiar, like I know the place, but I've never really lived there. Even though it's somewhat familiar, I will be able to make it more familiar with my own things. I will still have all of my important belongings, and I'll have all my other belongings as well in boxes waiting for me whenever the time comes. I'll still have the most important things in my life with me, and sort of remembering that is very comforting. I'll be able to make a routine there, even if it's only for a short while, and things will not feel as awful as they do now, and I'll get used to it and it'll be okay, and then eventually we'll find a flat again and it'll be great. It gives us longer to work out what we're doing anyway, and I don't think that's a bad thing, even though it has felt like a bad thing. Definitely isn't. It's gonna be okay. If you'd asked me a month ago how I felt about Leeds, I would have been a lot more negative. I don't know, I'm clinging on to here a little bit more now because I don't want to leave now. Perspective is weird. I will be more precious of where I live next, and a lot more appreciative as well, because for a little bit we're not going to have our own place, and to be honest I'd taken that for granted because we've lived together for 2 years now, which is a really weird thought, to be honest. Like, it'll be so nice when we have our own place again. I really look forward to it. I'm hanging in there. We both are. I look forward to being able to make another video that's about finding a flat and moving maybe somewhere new and finding home wherever I go. That sounds really cringy, but it is important to find home wherever you are, because a lot of the time you don't have control over where you are in the world, and I'm really learning that now after having the freedom to live wherever I want for the past few years within reason. And now I've had that taken away from me, I'm gonna appreciate it so much more in the future. Yeah, it's okay. I will still have Bellatrix. I will still have TikTok doom scrolling. They can't take that away from me. I don't know what to say now. My voice hurts. I haven't even been yapping for that long. Damn, I could not be a podcaster. I have nothing interesting to say anyway.